We reconvene. Right on tonight's agenda, case number C-1761, Allison's Planning. For special permit floodplain variance, reconstruct a single-family home, 149 Rockland Street. Is the applicant and their representative here?
Good evening, Claudia Sala with Selberg Associates, 1266 Birdsbrook Parkway, Quincy. I'm covering for Jim Burke tonight, who's in Gilcuddy, sipping wine on a gauche.
Glad you're here.
Overlooking the cathedral. I guess this would be the second meeting. There were some, first meeting. So I'm not quite sure exactly what's happened. If I
You got a
missed,
new set of plans that we just got.
right?
Yes.
Just
You got
yeah. So if I misspeak, let me know. So basically, the first set of drawings were for a 24 by 32 foot house with a garage and 3 levels above. It had a 4-foot deck along the west side and a rear deck on the water side. I understand that did not go over very well, basically due to building height. So we do have new architectural plans, which I assume you've received.
You cut the whole top floor off.
They took the whole top floor off, and that deck on the left side was also eliminated and is becoming part of the footprint. And the deck on the rear side will remain as it was in the first design.
Right.
So the new house is 28 by 32. Additionally, since the last time they were here, they had a geotech with some soil borings. The first design was on a pile supported foundation. Apparently the soil is very tight. It will not need pile support, so they're going with a conventional foundation, concrete foundation, with a spread footing, same thing. And it will have, the first level again will be a garage, and then 2 stories above that. The back deck will be supported above the seawall by sonotubes and below the seawall by timber piles in the home.
Now you got a flat roof on that, correct?
There is a flat roof, probably has some pitch, but it would be a flat rubber roof. Yeah.
And on the FEMA rate, you're at 16 down there, so you're at 18 feet. Is floor 1.
The floodplain elevation,
I looked at it,
Yeah.
60, so it's 18 feet.
you're thinking Quincy Devon, I think, maybe? Or am I losing? So, yes, the flood elevation, the AE zone is elevation 13, NGVD or NAD.
So what do you have for,
Which
what's your height on your first?
The first floor, the garage floor is at elevation 9. The first floor is, well, 9 with a flood elevation of 13.
Yep.
So,
No, so your first floor is like, it's gonna be 18?
the first floor is 9 feet above that.
So it's 18.
And I have those numbers. Actually, it's right here.
And I went,
First floor elevation is 18.5.
right, it had to be 18 or 18.5,
Right. And the new roof height will be at 40.5 or 40 foot 6 inches. I don't know what it was before, I didn't think to look, but. And the new building height will be, I think the email said 31 foot 1.5, but it,
That's at, on ground level, you got 10, 9, 7, 8, should be like, you're 9, 10 feet, say 10 feet. You should be 30, with your small roof, you should be at like 34 or something, right? 32.
Yeah, they've got 9 foot ceilings.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
So
have,
you get 9, you get a foot, 10, 10 is 20, 10 foot is 30.
I did my numbers in pencil if you want to see.
Yeah, I just want to. I looked at it in mine, and I thought it was,
Supersedes out again.
It's easier to change.
yeah, what are you getting, 42, 31 8, right? You're saying 40, 42.
Did I say?
Yeah, it said 42.
I'm sorry.
You said 40
Man, we couldn't be like.
No, elevation 40.5,
Yeah,
but the building height
which
was.
is at 9, so it's 32 feet.
Alright,
Well,
did I really say 40 something?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 42 on
I'll be a
that.
little
How
scared there for a second.
do we end up there? Because I'm a
You
through
said
this today and I
40.6.
John, keep track of
Mr.
this.
Chairman, I think what he was saying is the 41 elevation is refers to.
exactly, minus the 85.
The actual building is 31, but elevation
Right.
40 and.
The elevation
Chairman would
40,
stop interrupting.
42.
Alright,
So 32 foot high.
as far as setbacks, essentially the new footprint is in the same location as before.
Yeah.
Like I said, the west side deck is replaced by the footprint, so the setback on the left side is 14.2, greater than the 13. And the front is still 11, and the other side is still the existing house. That's it. Okay, with regard to FEMA compliance, it doesn't show on that foundation drawing, but there will be a total of 6 openings minimum, FEMA compliant openings in the foundation and the water side piles. Yeah, there is a V zone on the water side, so the piles will have to be cross-braced for the deck.
Right.
The infiltration system also hasn't changed. The prior infiltration system had additional capacity, so the increased footprint doesn't change it.
So it's got its own issue.
Yeah, so basically, the applicant's looking for a finding for the existing side yard and the front setback, which is essentially in compliance with the rest of the homes or greater, and a variance for the number of stories, which I guess the garage becomes a story according to the definition, just to give the definition.
Right.
And then the special permit floodplain, and I'm sure that he's been harassed by FEMA long enough. This house will comply with FEMA requirements.
Right.
And that's it. If you have any additional questions.
Any questions of the board?
I have.
None at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor? First call?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah?
Sally Thompson, Councilmember.
Want to speak in favor?
Sure, I would like to speak in favor of this.
Come on down, speak name and address so we all know.
Sally Thompson, 11 Thomas Street. Okay. I'm in favor of the improvement of this property. Being a longtime resident of Hasnack, it's sad to see so many properties fall into disrepair. We've got an owner who's willing to improve the property, make it on the same footprint, and accommodate the board's wishes on different zoning regulations. And I think we can only benefit by having our neighborhood improved by a nicer home than one that's falling into the water.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else like to speak in favor?
I'm Alfie Vaughn, I'm the owner, and I'm happy to, I've tried to work with the neighbors and their concerns, and when I heard that it was the height that was a problem, I was happy to take off the top floor. I'm hoping that this has now addressed all the concerns, and I just want to save the house from falling into the water and make a nice new house and enjoy living there. So I hope that you'll approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to speak? Mr. Duca?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to relay to the board that Margaret LaForest, councilor, called me and wanted me to relay that she apologizes she can't be here tonight. She has another meeting, and that she appreciates that they had lowered the roof level as they requested.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to speak in favor? Second call, third call. All the part of hearing closed, correspondence?
No new correspondence.
No correspondence. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board. I'm Matthew Watsky, an attorney. My offices are at 30 East Brook Road in Dedham. I'm here to represent the direct abutters to this project. It's Annetta Talarchik, 235 Rhoda Street, Todd Michalik, the owner of 151 Rockland Street, and Diane Wilmot, the owner of 148 Rockland Street. I can give you show you a little sketch, actually, that Todd prepared just to get you oriented, the subject site is this one. And you have Annetta here immediately to its east. You have Todd immediately to its west. And you have Diane located here on the opposite side of Rockland Street. One thing to note before I get into further details is that in the existing condition, you have views available from each of the other houses abutting it, past it, along the street. And you also have a view corridor from 148 Rockland across the street through it. The house is not proposed on its existing footprint. It's a dramatic expansion of the size of the house to each side, as well as coming forward to the street, which will very significantly change the character of the street and the views that are available from the existing property. Those houses that are there have each been there for 100 years. Well, actually, 151 Rockland was reconstructed, but it was reconstructed on its footprint. So what's being proposed right now is to tear down a house and rebuild something completely new, a different footprint, and with very significantly different impact on its neighbors along the street and from across the street. As you folks are well aware, zoning variances are not to be readily granted. An applicant needs to show all the different criteria, including that desirable relief can be granted without substantial detriment to public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of the zone. It's not possible to grant the variances that have been requested for this property without substantially derogating from the purposes of the zone and adversely affecting the adjacent and abutting properties. Sideline setback variance, front yard setback. Actually, I should note, although your site plan shows the house coming from 17 feet where the existing is to 11 feet to the street, the application for variance that was submitted to you does not mention, and the public notice does not mention, front yard setback. They did not apply in the zoning variance application for a variance from the front yard setback requirement to 25 feet. It says nature of request variance for height, side yard setback, FAR, and special permit for FPOD, period. So the building that has been presented to you in this revised plan cannot be built with the variances that have been requested. I'd like to also note, I don't know if you folks have readily available the site plans that were presented. The rationale that's been given for building the entire house with a first floor elevation of 18 feet is that the V-zone elevation is 16, and you need to have 1 foot of freeboard, and you need to have the first floor 1 foot above. If you take a look at the site plan, the V-zone elevation is located here. The proposed house is located here. The only part of the structure that's proposed over V-zone is the deck, not the residence. So the height that's proposed for this house with the very high garage, and now we're hearing it's going to be a solid concrete wall with conventional foundation, and then the 2 stories above that, and the total height of 32 feet is not justified because of the V-zone elevation. They have a 13-foot, not a 16-foot A-zone that the house is actually located within. So they could be 3 feet lower and comply with the FEMA flood zone for their living area. The problem that they have is that if they were to do that with the house as it's designed right now, they would have a deck that they'd have to figure out how do you transition from the first floor elevation of the house to the higher elevation of the deck if the deck is going to be above the V-zone. It doesn't make sense to impose this much higher house as compared to the existing condition and as compared to the neighboring houses, just because they want to have a smooth transition from their first floor onto their deck. They're proposing an enormous deck that's actually extending below the coastal bank with pilings proposed on the coastal beach. And we do have an appeal pending now with the Mass DEP to challenge that design. I think it's impermissible. But that's for informational purposes for you. That's not a major issue. That's another issue. So I would urge the board to require the applicant to come in with a more detailed plan, with a little more thought, and with a little more communication with the neighbors, because there frankly has been zero real communication with the neighbors. There's no discussion, there's no sharing of plans, there's no seeking input and then responding to it. The only reason that the plan got changed with the dropping of the one story is because we showed up at the last meeting and it became clear to them that they were going to have a problem. They didn't actually talk to us. So thank you, members of the board.
Well, I mean, I went down today and went through that, and they told me it's 18.5 for the house. So I don't know where you got your numbers, but I know where he got his numbers. He showed me on the map, it's 18.5.
Well,
It's in the engineering plan.
the site plan for this project, proposed single-family home, 149 Rockland Street, Quincy, Mass. Proposed conditions shows the line dividing B zone along the shoreline from A zone, elevation 13. And the proposed house is located landward of elevation
That's the
13.
new maps or the old maps? What is that?
This is the map.
New map that
This is the
came
map
out.
the applicant provided as part of
I'm
his
just telling
application.
you, the new maps I just went over and looked at today was 18.5. That's what I looked at. 16.5 and 2, it's 18.5. That's the maps I looked at.
Any portion.
And that's right down in 55 C Street. I went down there and asked for specific members and went on the computer. And they said it was 18.5, it has to be at the house to be in the reg. So that gives them a 9.5 foot. Basement. But what I would like to see now that the foundation's changed is a plan for something to do with what we're gonna do around those big giant walls. What are we gonna do for landscaping and everything else? Because there's nothing worse than looking at a big giant wall.
That's right. And you're talking about a very large, big giant wall that's
Oh,
for
it is.
a much larger structure. The existing structure is shown on their plan in a dashed red.
No, I get it.
And so the main house is going to go closer to the sideline on both sides and closer to the street without having to ask for variance.
On this side, because that's like 7.5. I think I measured it 7.5. Can you see what that line is? It's gonna be pretty close. Let me see what,
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I can only go with the project narrative that their engineer presented, but in the existing conditions, the application describes, and this is the engineering report, proposed reconstruction of the single-family home, says that where the footprint extends over the seawall into the V zone,
yeah, that's.
the site is located within the FEMA map flood zone AE 13 and VE 16. So, and the line dividing those two is shown on the site plan. So that's their engineer reporting to us that where the house is proposed
All right.
is elevation 13.
And I gotta look again, because they ain't gonna show up, and I looked at that. It was mine, about 20 minutes. This is.
Do any of the board members have questions for me? I know that at least one of the clients would like to speak first.
Well, they'll get pictures. They'll get pictures. You all set?
I'm also.
Thank you.
All right.
Is there anyone else opposed or undecided? Anyone else? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Terrence Welch, 358 Rock Island Road, and I do oppose this project on a number of bases. One is the deck that they're proposing to build over the beach. I wasn't aware that you could actually build out over a beach and put this giant deck. I don't think you should be able to build over a beach. At high tide, the entire deck would be underwater. The water would be under the deck. So it's not like it's part of their yard or anything like that. It's definitely at the beach, and high tide comes right up to that seawall.
You're paying taxes on that.
They are, but how can you build on a beach? It seems like in current,
Why are you being charged the taxes on it? That's
Okay,
part of
so-
their lot.
Okay, so you're allowed to build out over beach?
Their lot,
Okay.
their lot.
So that's one issue. Second issue is with current building law, I don't understand what hardship, if somebody knowingly buys a lot, which is difficult to build a house on, given current restrictions and laws and FEMA regulations and everything else, I don't know how that constitutes a hardship. The house that is there currently was lived in for probably 30 years by Alan Sinnott, the prior resident. It's not falling into the sea. It needs some maintenance like any house would, but it's unfair, I think, to portray this as doing the neighborhood a favor. Putting a big ugly box on top of either stilts or 18-foot high foundation wall is not enhancing the neighborhood. I think it's detracting from the neighborhood, and if we go down this path, every house along the coast and all of Quincy is going to be, big box on stilts.
What's the house to the right of that?
The house to the right of that
50 feet? How high is that?
but it's a house, again, that was built on existing foundation, existing footprint. This house is enlarging the footprint,
With the
so.
FEMA regs, that's what you have to do to it.
But you don't have to expand the footprint. It's a small cottage that's on this piece of property. It's a 2-bedroom cottage. That's kind of what the law can support. And people are trying to build, very large structures with a huge deck. It's not in keeping with the neighborhood, so I just wanted to express that.
No, I know.
And I think it does detract from the neighborhood if all the people with, small oceanfront lots decide to build giant structures on them. So that's my objection.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Those on the side?
Yes. Hi, my name is Annetta Talarchik. I live at 235 Rhoda Street, and I'm a direct abutter to 149 Rockland Street. I bought my home 7 years ago. I have a cute little gambrel, and I immediately fell in love with the house for its views, the ample space between the homes, and the surrounding trees. Before putting 149 Rockland Street on the market, the former owner let me know that she would be selling in case I was interested. I thought something a little bit bigger than my house would be nice, so I went to the building department and inquired about what could be built, the setbacks, etc. I soon came to the conclusion that I wouldn't be able to build anything very big there, and I would need to stay to the current footprint. I of course thought that any requested variances to the established setbacks would be harshly scrutinized and likely not granted, as surely they're there for a reason. I never imagined that anyone would have the audacity to come and completely disregard all the setbacks and height restrictions in place. To ask for a height variance, a side variance, move the house closer to the street without even seeking a variance, and expand a huge deck over the water, as she's asking, is saying that the rules don't apply to her. She didn't come around to share her plans. She didn't knock on our doors, didn't show us anything at all for months. There is no hardship to Ms. McClellan. Her property is not like any other property in the neighborhood. And just because she didn't do her due diligence before buying the property to determine what she could build, I shouldn't pay the price for that. She should have found herself a 10,000 square foot lot or larger. But this hardship would be entirely borne by myself. By bringing her house to 11 feet from the street, I would have the sunlight and views down Rockland Street, which I currently enjoy from the dining room and the bedroom, wiped out, and permanent shade cast over my entire house. The boundary trees that provide greenery and privacy would surely die, and there was no tree study done as required by Quincy's tree ordinance protection. The back deck would be at the height of at the roof of the current existing house and would block my views to the right over the water. I ask you to protect the neighborhood and individual property owners, as the zoning laws have been set up to do. My property will be hurt and affected more than the neighborhood in general. It will significantly impact my enjoyment of my own home. A new house located 7 feet from my property line, directly in front of my dining room and bedroom windows, has a direct impact on my privacy, light source, airflow, and views. The new plans, in addition, show a staircase coming down towards my property within 3 feet of my property line. And these are not small stairs. They're coming down from 18 feet high. It puts the economic value of my house in jeopardy. I can say that if I came to look at my house with that structure looming next door, no privacy and severely limited views, I would not be inclined to buy it. Isn't this what zoning laws are designed to protect? Don't I have the right to expect that they would protect me? I would ask you to please keep Ms. McClellan to the current footprint of the house. Thank you for your time and consideration.
You're welcome. Number one, there's not a height, they're not asking for a height variance. The height of the house is only 32 feet. And that's the first floor. So that's from before. And the height of them stairs is not 18 feet, it's about 10 feet. So don't think there's like an 18-foot wall going up. That's level 18 is what it's called. It's not 18 feet high, the first floor. So we do understand each other. Do you understand that part? Oh, okay. I didn't know if you thought it was 18 feet beside you and a height variance.
Well, the
Your
first
house
floor
would
is
be,
18.
you'd have mold all over your house if it was that high.
The grade
Well-
is, the grade's 8 though. So 18 minus 7, so
Level, it's
that's
level,
what they're up to.
right.
Okay.
It's tall.
And the height of the house is down 32 feet. Is there anyone else? Opposed or undecided?
Todd Michelle, 151 Rockland, on the direct letter to the south, I guess. Did you receive the letter that Matt, the council submitted last meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't get it till just now.
I think, I'm gonna go back to this map. I rebuilt in 2011-ish on the existing footprint, actually smaller footprint than what was there for 100 years. And Etta's house has to be 100+ years old. This house, I think, is from the 20s. I'm not sure how old the existing is. But the issue, I would argue, and you guys know better than me, this might be the most unique place in all of Howe's Neck, because there's still 2 streets that go down into the water. This one block has 2 streets that go down to the water. We have Diana across the street who has a 10,000 square foot lot, so there's a lot of greenery, and everybody has boundaries between these houses, around these houses, and as soon as you change that, it's gone forever. This house will move over and block the view from this way, and it'll block the view from this way. So I think, most people build on the existing footprint, that's what I expected to see. This is not on the existing footprint, it's an expansion of nonconformity. It's blocking views just as a result of the increase in nonconformity. It's not the height on the existing footprint when you block her dining room, it's increasing the nonconformity in height that blocks her dining room. The flood zone is 13 feet there. I park underneath. I needed a variance. I'm below 35 feet. I still needed the variance for stories for 3 stories. So I think the variance is required for 3 stories if you're going to build underneath, park underneath. I don't think it has to be at 18.5. My first floor is at 16.9. 18.5 is clearly because it's in the deck in the V zone. It has nothing to do with parking under there. You don't need the ceiling in the garage that high. So, I just don't think it's well thought out in general, and I think it ruins the fabric of this neighborhood, which is what makes it so attractive. If I had bought that, I would try and put it on the same footprint, because I wouldn't want my house closer to the street. There's just the way they're all situated when you're down there, it works. And as soon as you take one out, we're gonna be like everybody else. Boom, 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 on and on. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Quick comment I'm gonna make. John Orfield, 60 Bremwall Road. Precedent does make a difference. I was just at, Councilor Forrest was at the other meeting I was just at earlier, and she could have been here if she wanted to, but she chose not to be here, okay? But basically,
Thanks for that.
well, I'm just letting you know that at the meeting, I had to listen to Attorney Robert Fleming.
All right, let's get on with this.
Well, no, but I'm saying, they use basically saying, because of all the other business C things that this zoning board has granted, that they have a right to build 18 units on another property. So this is right, if you give them a variance to go outside the footprint, then everyone else is gonna come here and go outside the footprint. and build. I mean, it's like we're setting up these terrible precedents that just can't go. I mean, there needs to be a hardship for a variance to be granted. And I would like, before you guys issue something, to say what that hardship is. Is there a hardship in this case? And if there is a hardship, then let them state what the hardship is. So based on what the neighborhood said and what the people said, I mean, I think that this has to be scaled down or withdrawn without prejudice. Thank you.
Right, John. Just so you know, the hardship is a floodplain. That's the hardship on that property. Thank you.
So if you're in a floodplain, you can do whatever you want?
No, you get a hardship. So that's your hardship. You can't build like a regular home. That's the hardship on the lot.
But no one forced the applicant to buy the property.
So anyone that buys another house, you're saying, don't get the bill. That's what you're saying. So if you buy a house on C Street, you don't get the bill because you don't have a hardship. That's what you're saying. You down C Street, lady?
I just don't think you should build 4,000 square foot houses on 5,000 square foot lots. That's just how I feel.
Hardship, I gave you your answer.
Okay.
Thank you. To anyone else?
I own 148 Rockland Street right now, and I will say there's 10,000 square feet, and they were not allowed to divide the property at a certain point in time. If you grant this variance to her, I will be looking to subdivide that property so I can build 2 big houses on that lot. Thank you.
What's your name?
Diane Beaumont.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Call that part of hearing closed.
Can you just mention concrete wall?
No. The only reason I don't want to approve this tonight is the property itself. I think for the lot that's there, we have to have something that what they're gonna do with that outside. They're gonna make it look like a house, or they're gonna put, that wall's gonna be all, whatever the house is, you're gonna come down and make it look like not a big cement wall. I mean, that's gonna, landscaping plan's gonna be done, and that 16 feet to 18 feet's gotta be discussed. I gotta find that answer. I hear that 16.5, and I looked at it today, and it was 18. If it's 2 foot difference, then, it'd be 18, 16, it'd be 15, yeah, it's almost 3 feet difference. If you use that house 3 feet down. And then her deck is her problem, but you just have to walk up to a deck, which everyone else has. When people have decks above their homes, you have to walk up and you go right up to your deck. Or a set of stairs and whatever room you pick, and it goes up to your deck, but that's fine. If we don't need a 10-foot garage, we don't. That's my concerns, these are my concerns. I think it has to be talked about. They're gonna put, clapboard all the way down the house, and make it look like not just this big giant cement wall that's, they're gonna do for landscaping and that 3 feet difference. We gotta find a real answer. I mean, the guy's an attorney, and he said he looked it up, and it's 65 feet. I looked it up today. With the right people. Any questions you have? I don't know what questions you have.
I don't have it, well, a little fuzzy perhaps. I think they're leaning towards it. I think I agree. It's going to look and maybe have to ask for a landscaping plan. I think it's, it's a square box. I wouldn't want to come back with something a little different, some adjustments. Meaning, well, first of all, I think we have to find the answer to what you're talking about.
There's 3 feet here.
Yeah.
But that ain't gonna change the house, really. It's gonna be 3 feet, it's gonna be 29 instead of 32, it's not like.
Right. But I think,
The views on the other side don't bother me at all, because that's not what you pay for. You pay for that side of the street to get the views.
there is,
I get houses built both sides of me, and destroyed my view where I live, and I paid a fortune for that place, but I didn't buy the lot in front of me. If I did, I would have owned it all,
Marty, is there any way we can look at, like somewhat trying to figure out how to preserve more of the front setback?
Move the house back?
So, I mean, I'm just looking at the plans, you know, the side left, we're staying the same, the
The
side
thing
right,
is-
we're still in compliance. Is there any way that we can get a couple more feet there to add some reprieve, you know? I mean, I don't know if it's shrinking the house down 3 feet
The
and
best-
moving it back 3 feet.
The best part, though, the closer they are to the street that lines up that street,
Yeah,
the better for the
because they can
people
keep it out of the height,
in the back.
yeah.
I mean, because you don't know what's gonna happen to that deck. That deck could be built, it could not be built. That's, you don't know what's gonna happen back there.
Well, you could say something about what happens back there.
Well, we could, yeah. I mean, that's part of it. Mr. Duke, you have something?
I just wanted to clarify, they did apply the general dimensional relief, and they moved the house, kept it forward because of the resource area in the back.
Okay.
Try to stay out.
Okay, all right, no, that's what I was trying to figure out some way, because I mean, it's like, you know, we're talking about existing footprint, it's not that far off the existing footprint, it is off, but
Yeah.
it's not like, it's not incredulous, you know? It's not like that.
No, right, but you want something that looks nice too.
Yeah,
You want
no, I
a
don't know.
big 9-foot wall. You know?
Is it possible to get on that issue, just that small piece about the landscaping and that issue?
Well, there's a few issues, and there's 3 feet in the house with the right, what's the right number? He's saying it's 16, I'm saying it's 18.5. What's the real number? I guess, I gotta feel good to vote to make sure I know what the real number is.
Could we do a conditional variance?
I would, we'll be back. We'll talk to you once we're done here. We will. So there's things that and they took off for 4.
Yeah.
The house is 32 feet. It's not a gigantic house by no means, at all. But it's the aesthetics of it has to be a little more pleasing than now they're going with cement. You know, and what's it gonna look like? Yeah, right, so do you make it look like it's a regular house with no roof? It's got no roof, so you come back on the sides with clapboard and make it look like a real, it don't have a big giant foundation, it looks like a regular house. Looks like 3 9-story, you know what I mean? 3 9-foot, 27-foot house.
That's what he talks about.
Well, yeah, and talk to him, see some things, and get some ideas of what we can do, and we just make it what we want. You'll have to build it that way. Any other ideas?
Again, clarification of the wetlands and stuff.
Right, is it 16,
Yeah,
15,
that's got-
18,
that's
it
got
says
to be
13,
resolved.
which is,
I think every different works off of that.
so, yeah, because you don't know what that number is. You could have a 7-foot garage, and it'll work. Anything else, Mr. Chairman? No? All right, if you want her to bring back something what the architect's gonna do on the outside of the building, plus, make a motion that what we're gonna have on the outside of the building in 2 weeks. Also, clarification on that and a landscape plan in 2 weeks.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion on case Z 17-61 Allison Corner for a special permit floodplain variance to reconstruct a single-family home on premise number 149 Rockland Street. I make a motion to continue the hearing to July 25th. July 25th. And what we're looking for the applicant is a landscaping plan, some sort of idea about what the building itself is going to really look like.
Architecture and some architecture.
So architectural drawing, landscape drawing, what am I missing?
Just from the side of the building, what's gonna be on that concrete? Now they're building a concrete foundation, it's gonna be on, they're gonna take a backboard all the way down, and then make it look like a regular house. They're gonna have 4 feet of foundation, they're gonna have, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're gonna have 4 foot water and 9 foot.
Do you know what we're talking about?
I do.
Yes.
And also, just as an aside with this, talk to the neighbors, talk to each other, see what you can do.
Is there, can you do that in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Resume July 25th.
Said, the inspector said there was
It actually
dimensional.
was.
We can change it.
Because they didn't mention it here, but they did mention here. So they put down the 11. You couldn't tell because they didn't do this route. That's what they're missing. We haven't said it.
Hearing contract.
Yeah.
No?
I saw her schedule. Yeah, I was gonna say, well, hers is 32.
3 feet.
Oh, you remember the stair, the egress is on the side. So that's really.
It's on her side, right? I keep that.
Okay, straight up. Looks like you're looking at the house.
I have the tall.
Okay. yeah.
Which the height is.
So
I'm high.
so it's only 32. How
So if she stayed on the same footprint and went up another floor,
We wouldn't care about that.
Yeah.
Not at all. That's, so you know, we would have bought it, we would have bought it if we knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
looking for space.
Yeah.
We thought that
That's
it was
okay.
on
Stay on the
the
same print.
I'd make it half floor. Nice
Make
half.
it, yeah, make it nice, big, you know,
Right, they wouldn't
do it.
get your ceiling back, you know.
So that's what I did, that's what almost everybody
Like
did,
he
that's
is.
what we thought
So
would
that's
happen.
another story.
That'll make everyone happy.
Really,
We dumped it.
really damages.
And that if that happens.
Yeah, it does.
If that house is-
It's gonna fall.
I mean-
Continuing on those.
But something's gonna be built there.
Oh, yeah.
Next person, I mean, she could go right there.
We don't care about that. So I mean, she does a little bit, but she's
But that's, I mean, the 7/8 is her existing footprint.
stay there.
That's what I mean, but now you're talking about now if I gave her more height,
Go,
that's just as much.
go higher. I mean, I don't think she's gonna be able to put the deck in the water anyways. I don't think that's just. That's me, it's in the V zone, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you do gain 3, I was on the city map, Marty, I think the 3 feet is off. I think that.
C 1767. Here Thomas for variance finding and expanding the attic space, additional living space on the second floor, unit 36 Lancaster Street. Is the applicant and the representative here? Yeah. You have the floor, sir, name and address?
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is David Thomas, architect. I live at 4 Arista Road in East Bridgewater. And I was hired by the applicant, owner of the property, David Callahan. He apologized he couldn't be here this evening. He's in the construction paving business, and he's doing some evening work tonight. Presently, Mr. Callahan lives in a building adjacent to this property on Lancaster Street.
You don't live in this building?
He does not live in this building, no. He lives across Alder Road in the adjacent building that I believe is 43 Lancaster. And he's lived there for a number of years, and this property came up for sale a few years ago, and he was able to acquire it. I don't know if you've been by the property, but it's a beautifully maintained property. Has 2 excellent tenants he's had for a number of years, and he takes a lot of pride in maintaining the property in a very, very fine way. So his interest to me when he inquired, the attic is actually a walk-up attic presently. But unfortunately, there are no windows on that level, and you couldn't really, there's actually an abandoned bathroom that was up there at one time, but it's basically rough studs right now that can't be occupied. So his interest was to add a dormer on either side, raise the roof, and on the second page you'll see the intention is to raise the roof approximately 2 feet above the existing ridge and flatten the pitch so that he has wall elevation all the way across the entire floor. The intention architecturally is to maintain the gable in the front. It's actually a double gable. There's a gable that runs over the porch in the front, and then the secondary gable, which is the present roof of the house, and we want to preserve that, and then just have the secondary, the third gable, which will be the main ridge of the house, all the way across to the back.
He's gonna have 2 bedrooms up there?
2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and living space, basically a rec room.
So they're gonna have, the second floor will, the apartment be 4 bedrooms?
Yes, correct.
And how many parking spaces does he have now?
They have 8 spaces right now, and he can probably squeeze another 2 in, but everybody would have to move their vehicles in order to do that. But basically, the driveway on the left side of the house will take 2.5 cars deep, and then the back of the house, on Alder Road, there are 2 parking spaces off-street.
Why are people parking in the street in front of his house? I said twice, people in front of his house park in the street.
I think one of them has a pickup, a big truck, a commercial truck, and that's, he parks it there, I believe. I don't know why he doesn't park it in the driveway.
There was other cars there too, I was there twice, it drives me crazy.
So you need a parking plan?
I think the whole street is double parked on the
It
street,
is, but this is
unfortunately.
it.
But
Now
they're
we're
not all
having-
this tenant, they're not all tenants in this house.
A place that's tough to park, in that neighborhood, we're adding more bedrooms and not adding no more parking.
I don't think they're gonna add any cars. He's looking for a family that might have a couple more kids.
And he just bought it, and he could flip it in a year, and then we're stuck with all bedrooms.
Yeah.
I have no questions.
He doesn't want to go to a 3-family because the cost of sprinklering and
Right.
adding additional stairwell,
Right.
which is required by building code,
Exactly.
just wouldn't make it feasible.
I know, exactly. You have any questions?
I have no question.
Any questions?
Not at this time.
Any questions? Any questions?
So he needs a parking plan.
Is there, you can have a seat. Is
Thank
there anyone that wants to speak in favor? Speak in favor, first call, second call. Third call closed, correspondence is none.
DPW, have no comment.
No comment. There's a letter here from DPW, there it is. We reviewed about reference submittal, and we have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided? First call, second call. Third call closed. You know, it's the same thing. We have more bedrooms and no parking, and the parking is, all right, I'm gonna vote against it. I don't think we need that. It's got a 2-family there. It's just, we don't need to aspirate the parking situation over there, so I'm gonna vote no.
Yeah, because as you said, Mr. Chairman, the next owner, who knows what they're gonna do, and, yeah. I think if we increase bedrooms, we should increase parking.
Likewise.
Just looking too close to being a 3-family without the compliance with the regs, so
Yeah.
I'm against it.
I'll agree with my fellow board members.
Valid motion, please.
In matter number Z1767.
Mr. Chairman, could I withdraw this
You
application?
know what? I would if it was the applicant was here, but it's like, he don't even wanna be here.
Well, he would have been here, he asked me
But
this
he's
afternoon,
working.
but he was
But he's working.
in business tonight.
Right, he's in business, he's working, and he cares this much about it, his property, that he can't even be here, so I'm gonna deny that myself. If we could make a motion, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In matter number 17-67, David Thomas for a variance finding to expand the attic space for additional living space on the second floor of the unit on premises number 36 Lancaster Street. I make a motion to deny the variance finding.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
B-1768. Rory and Allison Buckley for variance to construct a two-story addition and two-car garage in front of 60 Western Ave. The applicant representative here. How are you?
I'm good, how are you, sir?
Good, you have the floor.
My name is Rory Buffy, I'm the applicant, and I currently live at 60 Western Ave.
Okay.
I like living at 60 Western Ave, so I want to just add on to my house instead of basically. We're adding, we currently have a garage, two-car garage, and we're looking to demolish it and put up a two-story structure with 2 more bedrooms and a new two-car garage and a family room.
How many bedrooms are in there right now?
3 bedrooms
You're
right
gonna
now.
have 5 total?
No, I'll have 4.
You getting rid of one?
I'm getting rid of one just to make room for the stairs for
Okay.
for the next one.
It must be small.
Right now it's small, yeah.
Well, the bedrooms are.
Yeah, one of them is very small. Which is, it borderlines actually being a bedroom. and stuff.
No, I see what you're trying to do. It's just on the back here, I mean, it's a nice property. Why are we going 7 feet to the neighbor's house?
Well, currently we're 8 and 8.85, and we just need that extra foot for the garage for it to work out with the doors and the existing entrance and a new entrance into the side of the house.
But why are you going, I see this one, 7.5, you're running your property. Correct?
Yeah.
That's where it is. And then you're going all the way over to your other neighbors, 7 feet. And why don't you go back a little more and make it a little shorter, so people have space between their house and your house?
Well, one side I'm not going any closer than I already am. I'm coming in.
Right, you're staying.
Staying, all right? I'm
But
actually,
the other side, you're 33, now you're going 7 feet.
No,
No.
we were going, sorry.
no, my current garage is
8.85.
8.85.
Okay, so that garage is coming down.
My existing garage,
What
but
is
it's be
the,
part of the new
how
structure.
far is that right now,
Oh.
you're
That's 8.85.
8.85. Do you have this? You should have this.
Yeah, I didn't, I just looked, I didn't know you had the other garage there.
Yeah,
saying? Yeah. It's
We're
not
trying to
that they
keep
don't
the
see it right
same
here.
sideline, we had to encroach a
Oh, I
little
see,
bit
so you
on that.
gained a foot on the side, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, it's in the back there. It's kind of a holy crap, like you go right over your neighbor's house.
Holy crap.
Better than the other one I had.
so we're not increasing the roof height, which is not a roof height, it's the same.
Any questions of the applicant?
I got none. He answered my question.
I'm good.
Bamble, anyone?
Keep
Someone?
the landscaping on that side too.
Well, do I currently have landscaping on
Keep
that?
it on the landscaping on that side, right?
We're not touching it, it's a
Yeah.
stone wall and a
Yeah.
fence right now,
Yeah.
we're just leaving it alone.
Very long.
Thank you, you can have a seat. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor? First call, second call, third call, closed. A letter here from the DPW. We review the above referenced project, our comments are as follows. 1, specify how much impervious area will be increased through the development. 2, provide plans showing the existing site conditions, layout of utility, grading, drainage, and construction details. 3, explain how much surface runoff will be discharged and treated. 4, provide dimensions and grades for the paving area and driveway entrances. 5, upon completion of the project, as-built plan showing all utilities, building footprints, reference bounds, benchmarks, defining total site-of-way facilities, right, need to be submitted with a digital file. The as-built plan shall be stamped by a professional surveyor. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided, first call, second call, third call, closed. I think it's nice. I think it's gonna be a nice house. I'll be voting.
I'll be voting in favor of it too, Mr. Chairman.
Likewise.
I'm in favor.
Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, matter number 17-68, Roy and Allison Buckley for a variance to construct a two-story addition with a two-car garage on the premises number 60 Weston Avenue. Make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
Second motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You guys just granted something, just saying.
It's been a tough night.
Hey, we gave the ID sign group, they got a sign. I like the sign, you got the sign. right. And we'll go to Z1769, Mike and Wendy Francis for variance to extend the residence beyond the 25-foot setback from the premise 94 Sonoma Road. The applicant and representatives here, I better choose two. Council's right behind you, wait, see. I didn't even know you know what? I wish I even looked, I didn't even look down, I could have called him, long time ago.
No worries.
Get you out of here.
My wife's away.
That's the only reason why we should get you out of here.
That's the only reason why we're gonna be married 30 years.
Yeah, you're right,
She's away. She's away, and I said, go ahead, there you go, go on, have fun. You have the floor, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Clerk, members of the board, my name is Jim Edwards. I'm with Holmes and Edwards Architects here in Quincy, and with me tonight is Wendy Francis, 94 Sonoma Road. Councilor Harris has been kind enough to stick in here with us and listen to this presentation. But, I've known the Francis family for many, many years, and like Wendy asked if I would help them with an addition to their house. And the house is pretty small. They're looking to add to the living room. And you can see the blue is the existing house. The yellow is a approximately 17 by 22 foot addition. And the brown is a deck. Most of the deck is at grade in the rear of, in the rear of the addition. We have setback issues. It lies tight, and obviously because we have a corner lot, the setback restrictions are even more fierce. But it's a it's a low 1.5 story addition, and it seems fairly benign, really. And we come here before you tonight to ask permission to construct this addition.
That's the side, the back of the house, on this side.
So there are,
What's coming out.
there are site plans, there are elevations of what the building will, of what the addition will look like.
There you go.
And seems fairly straight ahead, except we've got.
Yeah, and the fence is all staying in there? The fence staying?
Yes, it'll be a little bit reconfigured.
Yeah, but it's gonna,
The fence will stay, yes.
any questions?
Don't know.
I think it's real, it's a pretty house, it's going up pretty
It's a very pretty
Let
house.
the council know when the party is.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
I'm in a butter.
Oh, there you go.
I'm upset about all the opposition to this. It's,
Anniversary party.
He's here to complain about this neighbor.
Well, the Francis have lived there for over 10 years now, and they love the neighborhood, they love their house.
It's a beautiful home, too.
Thank you. It's a great neighborhood.
Thank you, you can have a seat. First call, anyone want to speak in favor?
whoa.
Put that on film.
I'm in favor of this project because I believe that, you should let people that have lived in the city for a long time develop their property, add on to their properties, when they have the space, when they're not encroaching on the neighbors, okay? So if no one is here to complain about anything, you should certainly let someone do something. So I'm for this project, it's a good project, thank you.
Council?
I second the motion.
Second motion, he's in favor, okay. Anyone else? Second call, third call closed. I have a letter here from the DPW, they reviewed the above referenced case and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call, second call, third call closed. I'm in favor, this looks nice, the council is in favor, I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
2 in a row already.
I know. Woo-hoo.
Not now.
I'm in favor.
Look at that, 2 in a row. So motion please.
Matter 17-69, Michael Randy Francis for variance to extend the residence beyond 25-foot setback on the premises number 94 Sonoma Road. Make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman, I make a motion
Thank you
to
very much.
close our meeting, adjourn our meeting.
Seconded? Seconded, all in favor?
All this is walking around.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Counselor, thanks for hanging in.